An eye for an eye in a dying world. Is it time for equal punishment for the crime of killing? We live in a world gasping for breath. From the melting ice caps to the smoke-choked skies, from the poisoned oceans to the bloodied streets, humanity stands on the edge, not just of environmental collapse but of moral decay. While politicians argue over climate accords and corporations calculate how to greenwash their profits, there is something even more fundamental being lost: the value of life itself. Every day, somewhere in the world, a life is taken, deliberately, coldly, and without consequence. Sometimes it's the act of a madman with a gun. Other times, it's the quiet decision of a government drone strike. Elsewhere, it's a husband who turns violent, a criminal who wants what is not his, or a soldier with orders that defy human decency. The result is always the same. Someone's daughter, son, mother, or father is reduced to a memory. And what does the world do in return? It debates. It defends. It delays. We speak of human rights, of due process, of reformation. But where is the justice when a life is taken with no hesitation and the punishment is a lifetime in prison with food, water, books, and a future? Where is the justice when the killer gets sympathy, and the victim becomes a number in a forgotten file? The harsh truth is this: life has become cheap. And if we truly want to stop the bleeding, to end the silent war against the innocent, perhaps it's time to restore a principle as old as civilization itself. Equal punishment for the crime of killing. Is an eye for an eye so barbaric, or is it simply just? Many will recoil at the thought. We're better than that, they say. We cannot sink to the level of the killer. But perhaps this sentiment is part of the problem. We have created a world where being better means tolerating evil, where we reward restraint while justice rots. The ancient law, lex talionis or an eye for an eye, was not about revenge. It was about balance. About making sure the punishment reflected the magnitude of the crime. If someone steals, they pay. If someone lies, they face exposure. But if someone kills, they breathe while the other no longer does. What kind of message does that send? It says that life is not sacred. That killing can be negotiated. That punishment is negotiable. We need to stop pretending that mercy for murderers makes us civilized. It doesn't. It makes us complicit. Deterrence through fear or complacency through leniency? Some argue that capital punishment doesn't deter crime. But maybe the real problem is that it's not used consistently, fairly, or immediately. A killer sits in prison for 15 years, appealing, delaying, breathing. By the time justice arrives, if it ever does, the world has forgotten the crime. What if the punishment came swiftly? What if every murderer knew that they would not just lose their freedom but their life, exactly as they took one? Would that not make someone think twice before raising a knife, a gun, or their hand? Deterrence only works if fear is real. And right now, our laws are toothless. A cry for global reform. This is not a call for chaos, but for universal moral clarity. The world needs laws that are not just national but global, rules that protect life as the highest value. We need a universal definition of murder that covers individuals, states, and institutions. A system of equal punishment. If you take a life with intention and malice, you lose yours. Immediate and transparent trials with international oversight to prevent abuse of power. Exceptions for self-defense, mental illness, or other mitigating circumstances, because justice must also be wise. But the central principle remains: those who kill must pay the price that they imposed on others. The world is dying. Let's not let our humanity die with it. We are living in an age of mass extinctions. Species disappear, ecosystems collapse. But the most frightening extinction may be happening in our souls, the extinction of accountability, of justice, of value for human life. If we do not act now, if we do not restore balance, this world will not only burn, it will become a place where cruelty reigns and no one is ever safe again. We must be brave enough to face the hardest truth of all. Sometimes, justice demands equality. Not to quench our thirst for revenge, but to remind the world that life is sacred. And if you take it, you must be ready to give your own in return. Only then, might the killing stop.